Hi, everyone, and welcome to Who Threw the Curve, and this is a Robert Ruiz rant. And today we're speaking on hedonism, the art of making life one big party. Hedonism, the term that sends shivers down the spine of every stoic philosopher and makes the puritans clutch their pearls in horror. Hedonism is the philosophy that tells you, in no uncertain terms, that the purpose of life is to maximize pleasure and minimize pain. It's the kind of ideology that makes you think, why suffer through kale salads when you can have chocolate cake for breakfast? But let's dive deeper into this fascinating worldview, shall we? Because if we're going to talk about hedonism, well, we might as well do it with a smile on our faces and a cocktail in hand. First, let's get one thing straight. Hedonism isn't just about indulging in every whim and fancy like a toddler in a candy store. Oh no, it's much more sophisticated than that. Hedonists are the connoisseurs of pleasure, the sommeliers of satisfaction. They don't just chug any old bottle of wine, they sip the finest vintages. They don't just lounge in the old beach, they sunbathe on the pristine sands of the Maldives. In short, they've elevated the pursuit of pleasure to an art form, and who can blame them? Life is short, and as the hedonists would say, you only live once, so why not live it up? Now, some people may argue that hedonism is selfish. To those people I say, thank you, Captain Obvious. Of course it's selfish. It's about maximizing your pleasure, not someone else's. But here's the kicker. A true hedonist knows that their pleasure often coincides with the pleasure of others. They understand that a great party is only as good as the company you keep. So they'll make sure everyone around them is having a good time, if only to amplify their own enjoyment. It's a win-win situation, really. After all, happiness is contagious, and who wants to be the only one dancing when the DJ drops the beat? Let's not forget the intellectual hedonists, those who derive pleasure from finer things in life, like art, literature, and philosophical debates. These are the people who find joy in well-constructed argument or a beautifully written novel. They're the ones who would attend a Shakespearean play and genuinely enjoy it, rather than just pretending to understand while secretly wishing they were home binge-watching reality TV. For them, pleasure isn't just about sensory indulgence, it's about mental stimulation, and if that isn't the noble pursuit, I don't know what is. Of course, hedonism has its critics. The Stoics, for instance, would argue that the pursuit of pleasure leads to a shallow and unfulfilling life. They say that true happiness comes from within, not from external sources. To which the hedonist would likely respond, that's cute, but have you tried a 5-course meal at a Michelin star restaurant? You see, for the hedonist, pleasure is not an escape from the harsh realities of life, but a celebration of many of its joys. It's about finding beauty and happiness in here and now, rather than waiting for the mythical afterlife or enlightenment. And let's not overlook the humor in all this. Hedonism, when taken to extremes, can be downright ludicrous. Imagine a world where everyone pursued pleasures at all costs. Dentists would go out of business because who wants the pain of a root canal? Gyms would be empty because sweating is just so unpleasant. But then again, we'd have a lot more ice cream parlors and amusement parks. So maybe it's not such a bad trade-off. The point is, hedonism is like any philosophy. It's best enjoyed in moderation. Too much of anything, even pleasure, can lead to disaster. Just ask anyone who tried to eat an entire pizza by themselves in one sitting. Spoiler alert, it never ends well. In the end, hedonism is the delightful, sometimes ridiculous, philosophy that life should be a never-ending quest for pleasure. It's about savoring the good moments, indulging in the finer things, and not taking life too seriously. Sure, it has its downsides and its detractors, but what philosophy doesn't? At the end of the day, if hedonism teaches us anything, it's that life is meant to be enjoyed. So go ahead, have that extra slice of cake, take that spontaneous trip, and dance like nobody's watching, because if you're not having fun, what's the point? Thank you for listening to Who Threw the Curve, and don't forget to like us, share us, and subscribe. Thanks.